Motion? And a second. Any questions or comments or changes? Not hearing any. All those in favor, aye. Opposed, same. Motion carries. Department reports, Mr. Ingram.
Nothing, just one.
All right. Chief Bush.
No report.
Chief Bush. I noticed our frequent flyer got his yard cleaned up. Everything looks good down there?
Yes.
Been back, okay. What about the other one that was down, do we have, Art Club?
No, you're talking about the ones off Parker.
Yes.
Yeah, they've all been cut.
Y'all have been, very good. Ms. Whetstone, you have a, all right, Councilmember Burns? Councilmember Craig?
I just have a follow-up, Chief Blunt, where are we at on the fire truck, on the radio?
Supposed to go get it tomorrow. Supposed to,
Done?
yeah, the parts. The fuel line was leaking, it's a special part that only appears when they have to wait on it, so. It should be done,
Awesome, awesome.
Price?
Half of that original price, I know for sure. So it went from 10,000 to around 5,000.
Okay. I think you did make up the 10 when they come in tomorrow, under, so we feel good about spending $5,000.
No, because when he said 10, I did about the same thing, I only had to drop the phone.
Okay. All right, Councilmember Hamby. All right, Mayor Pro Tem Bowles.
Question for Jonathan, what can we do, or what needs to be done to help you look for a lead man? Cause you've got all this on your shoulders for better than a year now.
I really don't know, I mean, we've advertised, the mayor said today he has a lead on a possible. From me asking, and I know another possible that I've talked to recently, but, you know, it comes down to money, and I mean, that's all that, you know, what we're willing to pay, you know, for the right experiences.
Okay.
I don't wanna bring somebody in here 21 years old, fresh off of from 2 months ago, and put them in charge of the guys that's been doing stuff for 20 years.
Other than the normal guy driver's license, blah, 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 pass drug test, everything, so it's the water tube.
Water two has, that has to be.
And a CDL.
That's
But,
a CDO at this time, but we can waive the CDO, but the water two cannot be waived.
Right.
Cause you can't change chlorine, and you can't operate a well without it.
That's it, other than the normal.
Yeah.
and, so Jonathan and I have talked, and because I'm the water administrator, superintendent, yeah, I don't even know what my title is. I can go and take the test for, to be, and I'm gonna do that as a backup to Jonathan, so when he goes on vacation or something like that, if I can pass the test, I'm really,
And you have to
why I
have some
volunteered for
experience.
this, but,
Right.
what's
You
that?
have to have some training.
Yeah, oh, I've done lots
Or
of
I will
training.
not sign your papers, I'm sorry.
I will not sign it. I won't ask you to, but, we're doing that as a backup, if we get behind or if somebody leaves us, and if I'm in that position and have that too, I can back them up so they can go on vacation.
The main thing is finding them. Most of the places like Fords Valley, they recently drilled in a well. So they had one of their guys get certified. So like, the county has wells, but they don't have to have a tube because if you have a filtration plant along with your water operation, your wells are classified with the filtration plant. So if you've got a 4 plant in Wales, the wells are 4, so you have to have all 4. There's very few just well systems left in Alabama, so that's why there's no other reason to have it,
Yeah.
really. So you're gonna have to steal one from somewhere, and somebody established, older gentleman with 20 years experience ain't coming for $20 an hour, 22. You know, he's gonna be pushing 30 or better, cause I can go somewhere right now myself and make 35, no problem. So, you know, a 2 is gonna be one step under that. $5, not a lot cheaper stuff.
What about ADM changing the class requirements? They were supposed to bring them down to a one.
In my opinion, they will never do that for a system that makes their own water.
Okay.
That's my opinion, but.
Well, I thought they were reclassifying them all though.
But according, I asked Amy about that, but according to her, the reclassifications will be for larger systems like it has, there will need to be another grade level for it. But as far as dropping a system that makes their own water down to a
And that's
one,
not bring it to one.
they're
Okay.
not gonna do that,
All right.
because you got to have the experience to adjust the chlorine and
Yeah.
do that stuff.
Well, yeah, we're not cutting corners.
That's all.
Okay, Councilmember Summerlin? No? Okay. All right, so let's go to old business, which is not old business, we were just talking about it, the budget. Do they have a copy of the budget in there? Okay, so the budget as it's proposed has a net gain of $46,900. Roughly $47,000. We can, like I said, that's with no COLA. So, what do y'all think? I've been losing sleep over it for a month now, so it's your turn.
I believe we need to go by the common sense of what we can afford at this point in time. And possibly do the yellow sheet, revisit it in 6 months, see where we are, where we stand on income of the city, and then maybe at that time address the issue with the hazardous pay for the police. Now I have something else I want to ask to add on top of Chief Bowles. What else, Jonathan, can we do for you until we get a lead man? Because right now, with you working all this overtime and you're doing two.
I'm not.
Well, he's working overtime, he don't get paid for it, so just remember that.
I
He
don't
does
work a bunch of overtime, there is some,
he
it's
does.
not like
Right.
20 hours or nothing, you know, I have 2 to 6 hours a week, you know. And
I just wanna make sure we're fair with you too.
but, you know, it's that, there's nothing really you can do, because you got the person, you know, you gotta have somebody that can actually answer the telephone instead of me. You know, right now, I'm gonna call 24/7, 365.
Frank
We-
can answer the phone?
He can answer the phone, but he can't do anything to the system.
We still do contract Nathan, and Nathan is his backup when he's gone for the
Yeah.
weekends. Nathan is his back, we got him on contract.
In emergency,
In
as well,
emergency.
yes.
We do have another 2 backing us up right now. So,
And he has agreed to stay, because he said, he told us he might leave last December. He agreed to stay, because he didn't know how working for me would be, so he didn't wanna say, I'll work another year or whatever, and then not like me, and say I'm going.
wow, he's still staying.
So he's still staying, even though he has me. So, he said at this time, he has no idea equipment. Nathan's probably 70 or close.
And let me add to what I just said, so far as the yellow sheet. Chief, I would love to do the green sheet all day long, and for all the other departments as well. But we have to go with what we can afford right now, and I hope that what we are doing will help. I mean, I know it's not what we all want.
It don't really affect my department that much, because one of the places that are raised involved, there's no person there. So I've only got really right now at this time 2 people and, emergency labor is just one of them.
What I'm hoping with the raise that we put in our operator 2 and 3 is that it motivates current workers to move up, to get certified in different things and move up, get their 1, get their 2 or whatever. And that's the hope there. I would like to, I really like what, Mayor Pro Tem Bowles said about, one-time raises for, people that are topped out. And you don't have anybody right now, you said, so we only have 1 that's topped out? Is that correct?
Are you asking?
Yes.
I'm not sure.
You
I
know,
haven't
okay.
seen.
It's not more than 1 or 2. I would like to maybe consider, doing a one-time of $1,000 for anybody who is topped off in this payroll. So. Just your consideration. if we could.
So, I have a quick question about recruiting. So like what the requirements are, where do they get their certification? Is it online? Is it
No,
in a
you have
test?
to,
Is
you have to have 1 year on-job training,
Okay,
and you have to go to school to take the test, and then you have to go to, it's a place in Birmingham, and it's a nationwide test, and you have to take the training involved, or they have to have water treatment schools and stuff like that to take the test. Don't have to, but,
alright, so
If
it's
you
not
want
like,
to good passer
If
rate.
you wanna pass, you.
Yes.
yeah, so it's not like you can pretty much hire someone off the street, you pretty much have to
No,
recruit
no,
from
you gotta have a
other
grade three
cities or.
certification. JSU offers a course in it, and so does Gadsden State. So they're pushing it to almost a college degree to get a certification.
So-
But basically, you're talking the same thing you're talking about a police officer. It's not the academy technically, but they gotta have a similar degree. we'll
And,
call it.
and not to promote another water system in this county, but there's another water system that if you went there, if you were a young individual, they will pay for you to go to school at JSU
To get,
to get you trained up. They would literally pay for you to go through it.
it's about an 8-month course, I think.
Yep.
I'm not, don't hold me to that.
That's what
It's
it
about
is.
an
8
8-month
months.
course.
And they'll pay for the course and they'll work you while you're going to school. And then you got a 2-year commitment with it. I mean, that's how difficult it is.
And it's beginning, with Frank, this year, you can no longer go take the 2. You have to go take the 1, and then you have to wait a certain amount of time, take more classes, and take the 2. Correct, Frank?
Supposed to be.
Supposed to be beginning May.
That's why it's working.
Yeah.
So Nick, you're gonna take those tests with me?
I'm not good at math. Do you know math then?
10% off. Rest of it, there's about 50% savings.
There you go. Alright.
Watch a YouTube video, dump some chlorine in.
Food shock and a good job.
Glad we don't do fluoride anymore.
No.
Alright, any proposals for the new budget? What we can do is, if you come up with an idea and we all agree, we can have it ready for the next meeting.
I mean, that's what I like to see. I like to see that, the yellow sheet figured into the budget and have it all mapped out where it's around the 0 number, which is
Okay.
super scary anyway in itself, but.
Well, we usually
We try to.
We usually get it.
Yeah, the auditor should be shaking around.
Can I get us, or can we get a list of like where people fall on this step? I mean, as far as our city employees go, like.
Okay.
Okay.
Most of my department's low, because Frank's on
Yeah.
any time. Well, I think the next man's got 5, first week.
6.
Everybody's 5 years and under but Frank.
But you don't do it now, but
But I can
that
do it.
will help me too.
Okay, I'll do that for you.
Unless somebody sees something in the next couple of weeks where
Okay.
you think you can fund up $60-some-odd thousand, yeah, that's really the only recourse we have right now.
Okay.
And look at mid-year or next year.
Alright, so the budget, we'll have a budget for you at the next meeting. It'll do the yellow page, plus anybody that's topped off for $1,000, one-time pay bills. And we'll put it in the budget, we'll get it, we'll put the numbers there. We'll make it work.
Man, fine, good.
We will. We'll find it, but we call that tweaking, we can get it. Alright. Anything else? Department heads? That was for the, other than next time. Alright, no questions, no more comments? Alright. New business. It's just a beautiful day in the neighborhood. There's a letter in your packet. I will read this letter, because I want everybody to know what we're dealing with. Dear Mayor Clendenin, since I have not received a response from you concerning our previous correspondence regarding the possibility of your city providing funds for Anniston EMS to provide EMS coverage for the city of Weaver, along with its police jurisdiction, effective 30 days from the date of this letter, we will no longer be your EMS provider. copy is this letter has been sent to Calhoun County 911. This letter is dated September 6th. So, bring you up to speed. I spoke with this individual. They wanna sit down at the table. They basically want money to operate in the city, along with any EMS that comes in. And/or they would like our volunteer fire department to start running non-medical EMS runs. And basically, if you fall in, they call 911, our volunteer fire department would go take those. The issue is, if an ambulance comes to your house and they refuse transport to a hospital or anything, they don't get paid. They get $0. They have nothing to bill. So that's why they don't want to go, if you've fallen and can't get up, they want our volunteers to take care of it, which, I'd have nothing against our volunteers, but they're volunteers. And what if all our volunteers are on vacation and we say that we're gonna do that, we're gonna run that? I see a problem there, and I don't like that.
Haven't y'all been running those?
No, we quit running EMS about 2 years ago.
Even the fall calls, just the fall?
We've never run a fall call.
No.
When we did EMS, it was only life threat.
So there are other options out there. Anniston EMS is not the only one. Piedmont is willing to look at coming here. They already do Jacksonville and they do Alexandria. We're a great fit, and they would even put a station out in Buckhorn, and move out there. But they would like some assistance.
That's where we're at now, we pay private business.
Well,
To come make money.
yes, okay, so this one is a private business. The Piedmont is a nonprofit.
They've already been running calls in here, when all this started 2 years ago.
They have. They have. So, and I don't know if y'all, well, I'm not. So, I also made some calls to 911 today, talked with Kevin. He's looking to help us with however he can. And there are other agencies out there like Life Alert. And there's another one out there that would be willing to come in, but guess what? Want help. So, I will keep you abreast to what's happening. I have a preference already because of this letter, who we use, but it'll be a council decision on what we do. Brian, direct this to you. We've talked a little bit. Can you, and do you have the people that can do it? And would you be willing to run, and I don't know how you distinguish between non-medical 911 calls. I guess they do when they call you. Do you have the personnel that's trained to do it? Would you be willing to do it? It's a bargaining tool for us if you wanna do it. If we can't do it and it's not gonna be good, we don't want to.
Yes and yes, but I have to
Okay.
follow that up with, if there's a, for instance, that we're needed and we're not here, then we'll
Well-
fall back on.
Well, I would, okay, because I don't know the 911 call when it comes in, if it's a fall-in, do they call it in as a person falling and they tell?
It depends.
Okay,
It could be a hang up.
No, nowadays it's usually I've fallen and I can't get up and I'm having difficulty breathing
okay.
and chest pains and or both.
Well, see, and what I don't wanna get into is I don't wanna be the first on scene and assess somebody and say, yeah, we need to call, we need an ambulance now. Because now I got another 20 minutes waiting for an ambulance to get there. And,
Here's something else, Mayor, you need to think about liability for these guys too.
I know, that's what
When the call comes into 911, they ask certain questions to lead up to what needs to be dispatched to that call. But, like you said, if it comes in as a person just fallen, that key word of, I have chest pains, we send them out there, all of a sudden she goes in or he goes into cardiac arrest, it puts liability on these guys.
And is there a liability for volunteer firemen?
Yes and no.
Is there a liability for the city?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Anybody can sue anybody.
Well,
Do we know how many,
Calls?
trips Anderson EMS, or how many calls we get?
Yeah, I'm getting those numbers. This all happened today. They're giving me those numbers and
You get them from who?
911 from Kevin. He's also giving me the ones that roll over. Is that what it's term? Okay. That they get a call and they pass on it and say, I'm too busy. And there's a certain number of rollovers that have been happening in the city of Weaver as well. We got. So, this is just bringing you up to speed. I need y'all to be thinking what we can do. It's been proposed to just pass the sales tax in Weaver and give me all the money and I'll run it. And then we can, continue operating in Weaver. And,
Hey, what kind of pay were they looking for? You know, it says previous correspondence.
Okay, so
what?
there
what
was no,
previous?
there's no number that's been sent out. They haven't told me any number. He sent me a letter, he wanted to meet with me. I called his office and I left a message. He wasn't there. I said, give me a call, we'll talk. He didn't get the message, he didn't call me or whatever. But they haven't given me an amount that they would take. But they have, it's not a large amount, I've heard, but it's money.
Are they looking per call or are they wanting a certain amount a month?
They just want a set amount.
That's what,
They just want us to give them money up front to operate the city. So,
well, I don't want the residents of Weaver also.
That's exactly.
That's the important part. I don't.
Yep, I just.
I'm sorry, but I mean,
No, that's all right. What were you gonna say?
I will say this, if you as a body choose to give anyone any money, I would strongly recommend that there's some type of oversight
Yes, that's
to
the
go
whole
along
issue.
with that. If we give them a dime, they show us where they spend that dime.
I don't know how we can give a private entity
I mean, there's,
any money.
that's a legal question that's going to have to be answered. I mean, I stated a Holiday Express last night, but
Well,
I don't know the answer to that.
I've already talked to the attorney and he's looking into it. He's also looking into the legality of this. So,
And when-
he's looking
And let
at
me say this too, when I say oversight, I mean something other than,
a committee or board.
we gave you $50,000, or we spent your $50,000 on responding to EMS calls. To me, that's not oversight.
No. I think the book should be open. Yes, I agree. Alright, so, any other comments, questions? Alright, we all know the most important thing, we just gotta somehow fix it. Mayor's report, I learned, don't go on vacation and don't extend it into Monday, because Tuesday falls apart when you get there. It's been a good day today. I don't have a mayor's report, everything looks good. If y'all are good with it, after Heritage Day, I'm gonna shut the splash pad down. It's starting to get cooler, I'm gonna leave it open for Heritage Day in case some kids wanna play in it, but after that, we're gonna shut it down. Alright? Yeah, sounds good, alright. Public comments, yes,
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I've, listened intently to everything that you folks have said in the work session here. You've all brought up very good points about the budget needs, personnel needs. And maybe it's time somebody said what I think needs to be said. You need more money, you may have to raise taxes. Yeah, there's the word. I'm serious. I mean, you just made the most important point, I think, that's been made in this meeting. We cannot allow the citizens of the city not to have emergency service.
Absolutely.
We just can't.
Right.
I mean, and if it's a matter of having to raise, revenue, you know, I don't know, a lot about taxation policy, I don't know what fields you have control over, but, I mean, doggone it, you may have to do it. And people aren't gonna like it, and it may cost some of you your jobs at the next election, but that's what you're up there for. But this citizen thinks, from what I've heard tonight, that I'm willing to reach into my pocket, and if it means I gotta pay a little more in property tax this year, and I'm on a fixed income at age 70, I'll do it. Because I don't want Chief Bush to have to decide, well, do I get 8 officers or 9 officers? And I don't want Jonathan over here to figure out how many public works folks he needs, and on and on and on. You need money, and there's only one way to get it. You gotta tell people, they gotta pay up. Thanks for letting me speak.
You're not running next time, are you? You won't get elected. All right,
I'm a one-shot.
there you go. Jeff,
Well, with regard to your EMS problem, you got 30 days to do something. I would recommend meeting with the Piedmont people and seeing how competitive they are. They've already got,
I have a call, I talked with them this afternoon, and we're meeting Thursday.
with regard
Or
to
later this
somebody shows up and they don't make any money, that's a cost of doing business. You know, they're gonna make tons of money off of Medicare and health insurance. There's no telling what their book would reveal that they're making in $10 million a year or something. So they should be in some form of ability to negotiate a reasonable deal for the city, since they're already here in the 2 adjoining cities.
So, and I'm glad you brought that up, because in speaking with Piedmont, unofficially, they will not let us go on
Good,
code, okay?
that shows their heart.
The Piedmont Rescue, they will not, if this happens and we don't have EMS, they will not let us go without. They will service the city we do. We just gotta, at that point, we gotta get with them and help them and do what we can to help them prosper. But,
Well, it makes sense that they're gonna ask for some money to run their equipment and pay their personnel. I mean, how can we expect them to do this for us for free?
yeah, well,
I'm not trying to cut you off.
That's the way it's always been.
but it's always been free, we've never paid for it, they get it from their calls. But
Okay.
so what's happening now is, it costs $1,200 to run a call. So they bill $1,200 if they run the call. Let's say they don't run a call, the person refuses, they don't get any money. They don't get anything. They run the call, they get $1,200, they bill $1,200 to our insurance companies, and our insurance says, here's $300.
Okay.
That's what's happening. Then they bill the resident for the rest, and they might pay.
Well, as I said at the beginning, I don't know a lot about how this funding works, and I appreciate you explaining that, Councilmember Bowles. But I still say that these folks have to have funding to run their equipment and their personnel, wherever that funding comes from.
Yeah.
So,
Jeff, were you?
But in your example, if they made 10 calls in a day, which seems kind of low to me, they made $3,000 net, which is gonna cover a lot of gas and employees and a vehicle and insurance and all that. So it's still profitable for them. But again,
Exactly.
we're gonna have to pay them something, so I meet with them quick so you don't have a real gap there.
I spoke with them today, so if anybody wants to sit in on these meetings, love to have.
No. On another topic, with regard to needing a water guy, knowing the government and computers, chances are your guy is on a list someplace with his phone number that has the qualifications to be your water person. I've recruited insurance agents from lists of licensed agents for years. There's somebody who has the registry for the people who have that water tube treatment lead man something or other class 2. And you can contact them and recruit them.
Yes, we have a ad right now on the ARWA website, stuff been advertised for several years.
Alabama Water Resources.
Alabama Rural Water Association,
Yeah.
and I don't know that there's a list of grade 2s that are looking for a job.
So are you saying I should just like call people from a telephone number and ask them they want a job, or?
Well, that's oversimplified, but there's gonna be a list, so you narrow it down to somebody in a 20-mile radius. You narrow it down and you make 10 phone calls in a day, but you're gonna find some guy who's just sitting there, you know, he's working as a plumber someplace and tired of putting up with his boss and wants regular hours and benefits and that sort of thing, and suddenly you're in the ballgame and you don't know till you ask.
Do we have an HR position open here? Because HR.
Would the state agency who maintains those testing standards, would they have such a list?
It's very possible, but
Will they give it up?
that's private information.
I don't know if they'll give it up. They
You
might.
can-
But
you can
that's
still buy lists.
We can try. That's a good
What
idea.
is that, what is the name of it? Is it, it's not
Hey,
It is a-
Adiums and Women handles all
Yes.
all the records on that. ARWA has a thing called the Society of Water Professionals, that I don't think that.
You're gonna have to go more than that.
Yeah, that's it. That's where you're gonna get them. So, all right, thank you. Yes.
Is that expensive to go, Gary Newman, by the way, is it expensive to go that, training that you were talking about in
There
Tennessee?
is some free training, but it's not, it's basically for, updates for water operators.
Yeah.
And yes, classes are expensive, they run $150 per person per day.
And the test is,
$450.
$450 just to take the test.
And that takes a year,
Yes.
that much of that, oh, I'm gonna say the city paid for me to go, jeez.
No, it's $150, and there is no, unless you go to JSU or Gadsden State, there is no classes. There's a lady that puts them on called Water Girl, and there's a couple other places, but they do a rotation, and they come to a central area and invite people to come.
There's actually a workforce development grant that the state just did at Gadsden State, I believe,
Yeah,
that you can actually go through that program if somebody's willing to go through it. The problem is you won't get classified till you have to be working in a water system for a year to get the certification.
so we're
It's not
talking
quick.
2 years, probably.
Year to year, you could, yeah. You could be working here and taking
So
classes.
see, I'm retired, I was thinking about it, but all that,
Yeah, you still gotta work one more year than in a water system.
Well, now you mentioned grant.
Yes.
I think a solution to a lot of these problems, has anybody checked into grants for, and I mentioned earlier when I said I gotta correct myself and clarify something, I said I was a little naive, I didn't mean naive, I mean ignorant, I don't know which is worse, but anyway.
I thought you were correcting the little.
But the thing is and Chief Bush alluded to the fact that the legalities of an intern. Do we have any two-man teams right now? Units? Two-man units, Chief Bush?
We operate 2 men
Yeah,
per vehicle.
you're right.
No,
Well, we have two on,
there are times we have 2 officers working. but
Yes.
they don't provide the same.
I'm just thinking everything grant. I guess all, the water, everything has been looked at in terms of what grants we can get. What's been the result of those?
well, there's gonna be some grants that are opening up, but they're for different purposes, for the water.
And we have asked for some grants to do a tank renovation, and a booster station, and some redo on some of the wells.
Yeah.
But.
We're looking at 1.7 million on those, and the grant money is about, it's 50/50.
Yeah, and most everything's a match. Very seldom they give you 100% of anything.
That's 50/50 on those grants. We're looking into them though, we are.
Well, all right. That's what.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, anybody else? Oh,
I just want to say I attended the Transit Advisory Board meeting this morning. There was no quorum, so no business done. We do have the numbers jumped on on one of our numbers, that I'll have to be checking into, make sure everybody's legitimate on it.
okay.
The only other thing I have is, as mentioned earlier, the Heritage Day is coming up. It'll be this weekend. Everything's looking pretty good. I've talked to Jonathan. I know he's got some stuff to do this week. I want to check with Brian to see if he would, gonna be able to get the sound system set up for him. Other than that, everything's go for Heritage Day, looked pretty good.
We got 2 individuals in the work? Yep.
Frank and, Adam.
Okay, there'll be 2 working, keeping trash cans down.
I'll be there also, so be three.
All right, thank you.
Anything else you need for Heritage Day, you good?
I think we're good right now.
I've got a case of inverted paint, I told you, if you need some paint tomorrow.
Okay.
So, let me know.
Not use one, not, use one can of it maybe.
Okay, I'll get all right, that's all I have, we don't have anything else, a motion to adjourn.